Hello and welcome to today's session. So today we're doing a card reading, and the objective of today's session is to bring through any wisdom that is in alignment with your situation and to help you, regardless of what's going on in your life, to make the right choices and to find the answers that you are seeking for the next chapter of your life to come. So in today's session, we're using the Sacred Path cards, my old reliables that I've had for coming up to 11 years now, and my animal medicine cards as well. The beautiful thing about these two cards decks in particular is the wisdom is, to me and through my experience, always on point. No matter what you're experiencing, it comes through with a real depth and wisdom that has helped me on my journey tremendously. So what I would like you to do is take this video, this session, this card reading as an opportunity to really be present with yourself, because regardless of what comes through in the cards, you will no doubt find information within yourself, wisdom within yourself, intuition within yourself. That's exactly what you need to hear just by finding the time to be quiet. And to be present. What I'd like you to do is either pause the video and find a place to settle down and relax. And we are going to begin, as is usual process, by taking a couple of deep breaths just to relax the nervous system and bring ourselves present. So pause the video if you need to find a space. And if not, what I would like you to do is inhale through your nose, out through your mouth, take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just allow your body to relax, allow your mind to slow down, feel any stress beginning to leave and allow the presence in. Okay, so we're going to take another nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to relax. It's very important that we do this in the beginning, because regardless of what comes through, this is also about you finding that center place. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull a few cards. Now normally in a session I would be meditating with the individual and I would get them to tell me, but because this is a global card reading, we're just going to go into it and know the intention is to bring through what's absolutely perfect for this moment. So we're going to shuffle some cards. Just going to shuffle forward. So as I'm doing this, again, just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you breathe out, just again relax. Very interesting. So what I like to do when I'm pulling cards is I fan them out and I just feel any subtle energy that's pointing or directing me to a specific card that wishes to present itself. So while I'm doing this, again, just be present with yourself. Have a look around the room or wherever you find yourself and just find that presence. You know, when you really look through your eyes and you know that you're present in that moment. That's our objective. You know, regardless of any information, seek to allow yourself to be as present as you possibly can. Again, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just relax. So again, this is just something that I've found that particularly works for me whenever I've used it with people who I've I've had sessions with, always surprising, always miraculous what comes through, if I do say so myself. Not that it's me doing it, again, it's just what is right for the individual. Okay. Now, I'm already feeling a very interesting presence in regards to some of the wisdom that's wishing to be shared through these cards, because it's actually, ironically, and if I am not mistaken, the Dreamtime was the third card of the 3-3, if 3-3 has been coming up for you a fair amount, I know it has been for me, was the third card from the first session. Okay, so it's presented itself again. Two today, I think, because one is this one. Ooh. Again, allow yourself to remain present. Take this opportunity to find that inner state, because that's the really, if I'm to share any thoughts that I would recommend to anybody, the inner state of peace is the primary objective of all people. You know, whatever you believe, whatever you understand to be true, your inner world, your inner state, your inner feeling, your imagination is the one truth, because it can not be tampered with, in the sense that you're feeling it. It's within you. You know, it's not external to you. It's not what I'm saying, because I can feel my inner world, but it's you feeling and experiencing your personal inner world. Okay. We'll do that then. Right. So I was fully aware that the last session was half an hour, so we'll allow this one to be just slightly less than the one that was before. Just to sort of bring through things a little bit quicker. So what we're doing here is I'm going to bring through my own personal thoughts on what is being shared with through these cards, and then I'm going to read from the books, because it's what I've done for 11 years, it's the process I've done, because again I just find that what then is brought through there is always, once you've spoken about what one card is sharing, it just leads on from the next. So this is ironically very appropriate for myself at the minute as well, and perhaps for you too. What's going on in the world is it can feel very hopeless. You know, you can perhaps look at what's going on and think, well, how can I do anything? You know, for many, many years, it feels like things have just happened without me having a say. You know, like I voted for this or I voted for that, and it doesn't seem to make any difference. There's no change. What can I do about it? Well, what's being asked of at the minute, like in the first session, same in this session, what's being asked is for you to see with as much vision as you possibly can. You know, we're talking about removing limitation of the mind. Okay, not just thinking, oh, it would be great if in 50 years I could have this. I want you to think, I'd like to suggest and ask you to think as unlimited, as unbound as you possibly can. Okay, what do you see in 20 years? Do you see the entire globe as a restored, flourishing forest garden, which allows not only nature to be restored, but the soils, the air, the water, you know, the human condition, okay? Our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body, allowing our souls to more profoundly emanate from this vessel that we are embodying and experiencing, okay? this to me is a time, as we've come into the golden age, the age of Aquarius, this is the time to recognize how far and how much we can see the future to be. Okay, instead of thinking that, oh, it's doom and gloom and there's going to be, annihilation and all of this, think what you desire. Okay, unlimited vision. Have no limits. What does it look like? Have you thought about it? Have you contemplated it? Could you? Okay, could you contemplate it? Because as we move on to the second card here, the ritual of joy, the hour of power, this is again, what do we see for our future? Do we see joy or do we see enslavement? Do we see no limits or do we see limitation? Do we see freedom or do we see oppression? What is it that we see? Because a single mind alone can bring into this world a tremendously profound set of ideas and movements that can make great change. Millions of minds coming together under the same goal, what they can achieve is unlimited. And if we apply joy and love and compassion and heartfelt goodness to that future vision, I believe that it is unlimited. And as long as I'm here on this planet, I know for a fact that I will contribute towards the goodness and the decency that is destined to come back. Okay? So when we think about looking with unlimited vision, this isn't just about the globe, it's about your own personal life. When we're thinking about the ritual of joy, the hour of power, we're not just talking about the globe, we're talking about your personal life. Okay? When you look around, do you think and believe in limitation? Okay? Do you think, oh, I can have just this much, or oh, I can have just that little bit more? Or, and I'm not just talking about in material terms, what can you have? What is possible for you? What are you capable of? Okay? And so that can lead to, and it's funny that we've pulled the East Shield, which is the eagle, and you'll notice my ring here is also an eagle. And recently, of which I was sharing on a video that I did, I come across these books by White Eagle. Okay? I believe these are actually relatively Christian based, which I am not a Christian. I'm a spiritual individual who believes in all that is, and the word is the same. All that is God, universe, etc., etc. It is the same concept for unity and completeness. Okay, so the eagle ring, white eagle, there is very much a presence coming forward which is sharing about the deeper clarity that's coming forward. And that's not just for, again, the globe, it's for your own life. Okay? It's about recognizing the elements and components that lead to you having a good, quality, decent life. Okay? And it's about removing limitation. It's about finding as much joy as you possibly can. Okay? Usually that's the objective of this session, is to be present, find yourself in a centered place, and find that clarity for your future. Ask the right questions. Okay, Think and Grow Rich is an amazing audiobook or book that you can listen to or read, which allows you to, helps to guide you to find that clarity. Okay, and then of course here we have Snake. Okay, this is the transmutation. This is the shedding of the old and being born into the new. Okay, many people can be imprisoned with shame and guilt. Okay, they can be imprisoned by shame and guilt, by feeling like it's too late, by feeling like you can't do this, you can't do that, it's gone, it's this, it's that, it's so many excuses, so many beliefs that are limiting, that are not allowing you to be born into the joy that is possible. And I know it's hard, the financial oppression, the experience oppression, that all of these things externally can feel tremendously difficult. Okay, you're not crazy for feeling the challenge of life, but with every human being, you have the capacity for great internal presence. You have the capacity for great passion, for great energy, for great fire within you. To be able to do things that even you would be amazed at, that you can do things that would amaze you, okay? And so this is all about letting go of the things that hold you back, right? Watching porn, gambling, drinking, eating things that you know aren't good for you, okay? Engaging in habits that do not progress your life, okay? I'm not trying to say here to remove your joy. You know, you might love certain things and you don't want to give them up, but in the spirit of balance, in the spirit of harmony, of clarity, okay? What is it that you can let go of? What is it that you can improve upon, okay? So some thoughts for you there. Crow, I cannot remember what crow represents, so that's going to be a little treat for the end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the cards, I'm going to read them one by one and see if that wisdom comes through and resonates with you. So we're going back to dream time and we are going to read it again in this session. So just make sure that that's readable there, hopefully. If the dream time has called you, you are being asked to see with unlimited vision. Wipe the dust from your eyes and pay attention to the messages you are receiving from the parallel universe. Our world is pregnant with possibilities. All time is now. You are a co-creator in the two worlds and will be given unlimited sight and knowing if you ask for it. This vision may come in a sleep-time dream or through out-of-body journeying. It will give you the insight that you need at this time. Unlimited vision allows any seeker to pierce the veil of unconsciousness and come into an inner knowing. In all cases, this card marks a time of seeing truth on all levels of creation. You are now being given the ability to go beyond the accepted reality. The cocoon is open. Trust yourself, your allies, and your medicine. You may now take flight. Interesting. Now again, flight, white eagle. I'm not swearing at the camera there, apologies. White eagle, east shield eagle, taking flight. Taking flight is about flying above the third dimensional worldly thought, okay, the third dimensional worldly thinking. Tremendous inspiration comes through imagination, meditation, and presence, okay? The answers you're seeking, as it explains, are within you, okay? So understanding this, and one other key element here, is piercing the veil of unconsciousness, okay? We don't know what we don't know, and it's only when we know that we don't know that we recognise how asleep we've really been. I have had this experience in my life when I was younger, you know. When I started to know that I didn't know, that's when the journey begins, okay? So the powerful thing here is go within. The answers will always be there for you, okay? If you do the proper, or give the proper time, in joy and in love, to yourself to find those answers, okay? So 42, hour of power, 44, 3, hour of power. So I hope that it's not blurry and you can see it. The hour of power speaks of rituals of joy. No matter what your present situation, you are being asked to do what gives your heart the greatest joy. Drop any activity that is taxing and focus on connecting to the earth and being fed with the energy you need to maintain happiness. This card signals the zero rest balance point that will keep you from becoming out of harmony if you realign body, mind and spirit by doing something that gives you joy. This little happiness break is what will keep you from breaking apart if you are stressed out. Life force is available to you in this moment. Be reminded not to leak this precious mana on regret and indecision. The keynote here is celebrating life. Find the blessings that give you joy, discover your hour of power, and feed the talents that allow you to develop your greatest potential. Again, very interesting. When we think about greatest potential, we think about having no limits, okay? So we're not talking about your little slight potential, we're talking about your greatest potential. And you will have a unique greatest potential, okay? And so I know it can be difficult to make the suggestion to, you know, if you're doing 70-hour weeks, if you're, you know, exhausted with this and that. The power of this is by saying do something that brings you joy. Okay, now the first thing that came to me is breath work. Now, my dear brother doesn't like the word breath work, but if you Google it, you'll find it. But breathing, okay, I've recently been doing something called Sufi breathing. There's a gentleman who does an excellent video on YouTube, and it just allows you to become fully present. And in that presence, you can find the joy. Now, this is just whatever brings you joy. Okay, if it's going for a walk, you know, whatever it could be, if you allow yourself just to come back to that calm, present, joyful moment, you may just be able to find what it is that you were looking for. Okay, so we will move on now to card number 8. Let's just see all the way through. Yep. I hope that it isn't blurry on as I'm showing this. Not the medicine wheel. Okay. So it probably was blurry, I apologise, but anyway, this is clearer, I think. The East Shield card represents a need for clarity in some part of your life. It may also mark a time of illumination when suddenly things begin to fit together and make sense to you. If you have been confused, now is the time to ask for order in your life. Order can be restored through making lists of things to do, cleaning up your living space, or finishing old projects. When order is restored, you are then more receptive and can find the clarity that you need. The illumination of the East can also be asking you to assist another in finding clarity. Sharing your ideas may bring illumination as others give you feedback. It may also be a time to heal old wounds or negative thoughts so that there is room for clarity to enter your life. Be creative and daring in order to stretch your concept of who you really are and venture into new realms of understanding. In all cases, the East Shield marks a time of new freedoms that come from wiping the mud from your eyes and seeing with the eye of eagle. Observe which thoughts keep you in blinders and clear that blindness through summoning your courage and taking flight. Again, taking flight, okay, this was what was also mentioned in the Dreamtime, the Unlimited Vision. So often, joy, love, happiness can elevate us out of the nagging, moaning, upset, complaining energies and bring us higher so that we have a higher vantage point to have a look at what is happening. Okay, you know, even in my life there are challenges, and so when those challenges happen, it simply allows you to realign. You know, and this is why I take plenty of time to meditate and breathe, and you know, I train in the gym, of course, which ironically centers me very much. But it allows you to look from a higher eye and recognize what is going on, because it can be hard. I'm not saying I'm perfect with this, but to find the answers you're looking for, joy, and then finding that illumination and clarity by lists, clearing, as it mentioned, they're very powerful. You know, they can make you feel good too. Okay, so 4th card, snake. We will get straight into it. Snake is transmutation, as I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the part that comes through. But ironically, you can pause this video and have a look and read the entire thing for yourself. But I'm going to read from here down because it shows when it's coming through. Sorry, it's the part of the description here that comes through if this card has come forward. This medicine teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. Through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about the transmutation of the fire medicine. This fire energy, when functioning on the material plane, creates passion, desire, procreation, and physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, and dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect, power, charisma, and leadership. When this snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom, understanding, wholeness, and connection to the Great Spirit. If you have chosen this symbol, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, action, or desire so that wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic, but remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. Become the magician or the enchantress. transmute the energy, and accept the power of the fire. Now again, you see how I love the interweaving of these cards every single time. Okay, what this is speaking of is allowing you to tap into the energies that you might not even know you have. Okay, there is passion within you, there is fire, there is movement, there is intelligence, there is wisdom. You know, like most people, I know a lot of people of an older age say, oh, I can't do technology. Of course you can. It is a simple process of step-by-step logic which allows you, once you know what you're doing, like driving a car, you know, everybody, when they start to learn to drive a car, usually is sweating. You know, there might be some people who are just born naturals. I was certainly sweating when I learned to drive a car, but you learn, okay? You go through the sweating process, and then eventually you learn exactly how to drive the car, and it becomes automatic. Same with technology. Same with anything. Baking, training in the gym, or going to the gym, whatever it is. Wisdom and information is all around us. So transmuting anything that is not in alignment with your unlimited nature. Okay, that's really the big thing of this session. Transmuting anything which is not in alignment with your unlimited nature. Okay, that's the power of the snake. That's the power of being born anew. When everybody around you says the same old stuff and you agree, you can change. Okay, this is the power. The animal kingdom, every attribute of the animal kingdom is available to us, if only you recognize that within yourself. Okay, so, okay, crow is our last one. Where are we at? 24. Beautiful, there we go. Crow represents law, which is actually extremely important in the sense of spiritual law and recognizing the things that are intrinsically connected to our reality and ourselves. So it's pulled in the contrary position, which is upside down. So with that in mind, we're going to read the contrary. So you are an outlaw today, eh? This is one of the varied messages of Crow reversed. The rebel in you has given a yell, and all hell is about to break loose. A word to the wise at this point. Make sure that if you are stepping on toes, you have some backup. The catalyst for a barroom brawl is usually the person with two black eyes. That is what it means to eat crow. If you do not plan to go to such extremes, crow reversed may indicate that you are merely cheating a little on your diet or covertly watching the neighbours have a spat or thinking promises are made to be broken. In any of these situations, the only loser is you. If you are lying to yourself on any level, you have lost the power of crow. Think about it, and maybe your inner truth will come to you. Again, inner truth. In seeing what is true, you may need to weed out past beliefs or ideas to bring yourself into the present moment, which is what we've literally just talked about. You see how crazy it is? You see how crazy these cards are and how it works? We just talked about freeing ourselves from limitation by freeing ourselves from limiting beliefs. Okay, that's what this is saying. To bring yourself into the present moment, which is exactly what we were talking about. Contrary Crow speaks of needing to remember that divine law is not judgment or denial of self-truths. Divine law is honouring harmony that comes from a peaceful mind. Exactly what we were talking about. An open heart, a true tongue, a light step, a forgiving nature, and a love of all living creatures. Honour the past as your teacher, honour the present as your creation, and honour the future as your inspiration. Refusing to honour the shifts in your reality can cause emotional pain. An implosion of energy is apparent when rebellion surfaces. Contrary Crow speaks of broken law. The law of expansion is broken by suppression. This may apply to a situation, an old habit, a person you have given your authority to, or your own fears. It is always your own creation, so call on Crow and shift that creation to your new reality. Now, the most powerful element here, which has just completely gone out of my mind, so maybe it's not to be said, and I'm not going to be able to quickly find out what I was getting there. Crow was 24. Sorry, hold on. Apologies, guys. fears. That was it. The other biggest thing that takes a person away from the present moment, away from their power, away from their true self is fear. Fear, doubt, concern. Now, there are 6, because ironically I've been listening to Think and Grow Rich, beautiful book. Very interesting. Whether it's completely into the truth, I don't know, but it talks about the 6 major fears. Okay, it's the fear of ill health, fear of criticism, fear of death, fear of, and a couple of other things, which unfortunately I can't remember, but you can Google it for yourself. But fear is crippling, okay? And fear is a lack of understanding and acknowledgement of your true self. Fear is a lack of understanding and acknowledgement of your true self. If you are afraid, you do not know who you truly are, okay? If you are afraid, you are still in a position where you have forgotten that you are source, all that is, God, universe, infinite spirit, great mystery, great spirit, whatever the word. That is what you are, okay? Ironically, like I say with those books, it's been coming up with, currently Christian religion. No disrespect to anybody. But again, all power to God, all power to this, all power to that, all this, everything is this, everything is... It's disempowering. It's disempowering. Now, some people will sit there and be like, oh, well, you're arrogant and think you all... No. I know my individual spirit in this vessel. I know that I, can't turn the oceans into wine right now. But I also know what I am. And I am an infinite being created and placed in a physical body, which I did, which you did. You did it for me. I did it for you. I did it for myself and you did it for yourself. We did this, okay? That's not me trying to say that I'm, all that is and God and it's just saying we did this, okay? Humbly. I know that the birds are me. I know that the wind is me. I know that the trees are me, okay? I know that everything that exists is me, okay? And it's humbling and it's lovely and it's wonderful and it's empowering and it's beautiful, okay? And it's simple. It's simple, it's unconditional, it's loving, it's kind, it's compassionate, okay? It's compassionate. And it is a recognition, that I am capable of anything and to do anything. And I choose love, and I choose abundance, and I choose goodness and decency. So what do you choose? I hope that this session was beneficial to you. I hope that it was empowering for you. I hope that if you got to this point, I appreciate it very much. A like and a subscribe would be very helpful if you're willing to do that, or a comment to share your thoughts, or whatever it is. I'd be very deeply grateful. And all I want to say, guys, is I obviously offer one-on-one sessions, I offer private card readings, one-on-one coaching sessions as well, if that is something that you're interested in. And if not, I hope that this was beneficial to you. And I hope that you guys have an absolutely beautiful day and take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.